Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
It's Monday. Welcome to it. Best day of the week, because that means it's all in front of us. Had the whole week to look forward to. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic. Thought that weekend would never end.
Yeah?
Yeah. You?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm there with you, Pat.
Good.
I love Mondays.
Right? Everybody does, because it means 5 days of work, which is fantastic, isn't it? It's fantastic. Things are going to hell in a handbasket in the Middle East, of course. They just keep escalating.
That's an evergreen comment.
Pretty much. Yeah. At pretty much any time in world history, you could say that and it'd be accurate.
Yeah.
But here's a quick timeline from just the past week to show you that things are a little more seedy than they have been. Last Sunday, 3 U.S. soldiers were killed and 25 others injured. I thought it was 47 others. Man, these numbers continue to change pretty drastically. In that drone attack in Jordan, Biden vowed to respond, but didn't specify what that meant, which he shouldn't, frankly. I mean, you're not going to spell out for the enemy. All right, here's exactly what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. Well, Friday, the U.S. military struck more than 85 targets in Syria and Iraq in a retaliatory move. The military targeted facilities connected to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Quds force and militias backed by Iran. Estimated 40 people were killed in those attacks. Then Saturday, the U.S. and U.K., with support from 6 other allied countries, launched attacks at dozens of sites in Yemen, controlled by Houthi militants. The attack is, of course, related to everything else going on around the Red Sea, where the Houthis have been attacking commercial and military ships. And then yesterday, the Houthis vowed to respond to the U.S.'s attacks. We were responding to your attacks.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this should be over. That's why we need to wipe these people out. And Iran warned the U.S. that carrying out more strikes will lead to more instability in the region. I think everybody understands that, but thank you for stating the obvious, Iran. That was perfect. Meanwhile, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan was on the Sunday shows yesterday answering questions about those airstrikes in the Middle East. He was asked about the possibility of attacking inside Iran.
Have you ruled out strikes inside Iran?
None of your business. Should be the
well,
answer.
Sitting here today on a national news program, I'm not going to get into what we've ruled in and ruled out from the point of view of military action. What I will say is that the president is determined to respond forcefully to attacks on our people. The president also is not looking for a wider war in the Middle East.
But is it off the table? Are strikes inside Iran off the table?
What did he just tell you?
Again, Kristen. Sitting here on television, it would not be wise for me to talk about what we're ruling in and ruling out.
So you're not ruling it out?
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'll just say the same thing one more time, which is I'm not going to get into what's on the table and off the table when it comes to the American response.
Jeez, a buffoon.
I mean, in fairness, this is the same administration that telegraphed their intentions for a week and then basically allowed for the bad guys to take cover because, we're coming.
That's right. So they waited 6 days before they did anything so that it would minimize the damage. They want to show the American people that they're tough, but they didn't really want to hurt anybody or anything. And, that's partly because they're cowards, but also partly because we don't want to widen the conflict. So it is a tough line to walk. I'll grant them that. So it is difficult right now. It really is. But for her to continue to ask what's on and off the table as far as military strikes, you can't answer that question. We're not going to say. So it is off the table. I'm not going to say. Well, what you're saying then is it is on the table. I'm not saying anything about the table. It's not set. It's not unset. Okay?
Is there anything on
There's no table.
Is there anything off it?
It's unbelievable. Dumb.
Yeah.
After working for months for a compromise on border security and funding overseas, the Senate just released a compromise plan last night.
Oh, this is exciting.
So, here we are talking about all of the strikes going on in the Middle East. Now we're talking about, all right, also we need to ramp this thing up. We need to ramp it back up in Ukraine. We need to give Israel $14.1 billion. We need to send $20 billion to our own border. Anyway, here's some of the bullet points where the money in the bill would go.
Yeah, they're right there. Yep.
Oh, I thought it was a video of where we...
No. We got
So we're not going to see a really cool visual of graphs and charts.
No, sir.
Okay.
$118 billion. $20 billion, you say, going to the border? Oh, my gosh. Stop the gravy train for the border.
I know.
$20 billion out of $118 billion. This is the compromise?
$60 billion goes to Ukraine.
Oh, my gosh. Call it the Ukraine funding bill.
$60 billion more for Ukraine, in addition to everything we've already sent. And finally that slowed down, and we haven't been doing it on a weekly basis because they've had this fight now, and thank goodness somebody came to their senses and said, wait a minute, you know what? Let's stop doing this.
This is the dumbest bill ever.
So $60 billion in aid to Ukraine. $14 billion, I think it's $14.1 billion, but what's $100 million among friends? It's not even worth mentioning, right? So you only talk about the $14 billion because unless it's in the billions, we don't even notice it. There's money for Taiwan. I think it was $2.4 billion or something to Taiwan. And $20 billion for border security.
As Matt Walsh tweeted out last night, for those keeping track at home, that's almost 400% more tax money for foreign countries than for our own country.
Yeah.
And this also leaves the border wide open. This has that stupid provision that says, well, if we have a case where there's more than 5,000 crossings a day,
per day,
then the president can declare an emergency and shut it down. Can he? It doesn't say will.
No.
I mean, this is...
Or shall.
What in the hell?
They ignore those words anyway.
That's true. And this razor wire stuff, my goodness, that's been working. You see, Greg Abbott said that in a place where you would have 3,000 people crossing a day, we now have 3. As in 1, 2, 3 people a day can get through the razor wire.
Wow. That seems effective.
Yeah, it is effective when you have, National Guard soldiers standing there at the razor wire saying, no.
Wow.
It's fascinating how that works.
You could do this instantly if you wanted to. If you had the will, we could do it today. Even Bill Maher understands that concept. Did you hear what he had to say about border security?
I did not.
Listen to this.
Part 2 of the acting is Joe Biden saying, you know what? If you just give me a new law, why doesn't the president can fix this? He already has the existing laws.
And border patrol
this is also
right
silly.
To your face.
I need a piece of paper from Congress to deal with the border. No, you already have that.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Bill Maher and his audience understand that. And how insane and insipid that response is.
Yeah.
Oh, if they'll just give me the authority, I'll shut it down today.
I heard this little blip on the top of the hour newscast driving in this morning, and it said one of the provisions in the bill is that they will shorten the amount of time that illegals have to roam free throughout the country before they have to report to their court date.
The court date, yeah.
Sure. And it says, but proponents are cautioned that that would take several years to ramp up.
Okay. That's great.
I mean, what in the world? We are not a real country. You see, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, said, quote, this is his tweet last night, I've seen enough. This bill is even worse than we expected and won't come close to ending the border catastrophe the president has created.
And it won't pass.
As the lead Democrat negotiator proclaimed, under this legislation, the border never closes, end quote.
But you see what they're doing. They're saying, hey, we tried to get them to approve $20 billion so that we could finally get this done. And they won't do it. They won't do it.
Wait till the State of the Union speech in early March.
Gosh.
That's what he'll say.
Be ugly.
Hey, look, my party tried.
Ugly.
They tried to shut it down, and nope.
Yeah, he will. Yes, he will. So $60 billion to support Ukraine, $20.23 billion to secure the border, which is nonsense. $14.1 billion in security assistance for Israel, $10 billion in humanitarian assistance for civilians in conflict zones around the world, including and especially the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. So they're going to start funding once again Hamas. That's where the money will end up. It'll end up in the hands of their leaders. And that's Hamas. $4.83 billion to support key regional partners in the Indo-Pacific and deter Chinese government aggression. So that's the Taiwan aid. $2.44 billion to U.S. Central Command operations in the Red Sea. $2.33 because the $60 billion wasn't enough for Ukraine. We also have $2.33 billion for Ukrainians and other refugees who've been displaced, and $400 million for the nonprofit security grant program, which I love and we talk about so often.
What's your big thing on that? Why do you like it so much?
Because
I don't know that the audience is aware of this love you have.
What it does is help nonprofits, Keith, and places of worship to make security enhancements. So we're talking about mosques in the Middle East a lot. You give them some money for security.
Oh, that's good.
Make sure the evil Christians aren't trying to hurt them.
Okay.
That's important.
Actually, I'm glad that's over there and not over here, because that's a nice foothold for the government. Yeah, we'll totally protect you guys while you worship inside. We're just going to need you to fill out this tax document here.
Sure. Yep. Anytime you let them in, that's what they're going to do. They're going to start dictating to you. So that's always fun. So truckers now have arrived at the southern border.
Okay. And on the border? Mm-hmm. Oh, they'll take care of the border fence with their trucks, right?
Yeah,
Just
right.
Line them up, boys. Oh, by the way, speaking of truckers, did you see that last week, the Canadian Supreme Court, somebody up there just ruled against Justin Trudeau. It wasn't the Supreme Court, because he's going to appeal. That he overstepped his bounds, his limitations against going after the truckers and their finances. Remember that during the vaccine thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, just on the side there.
Good.
Yeah. Look at this, man.
We the people written on the side of that truck. It's fun.
This is...
I'm sure they consider that an extremist slogan now.
Definitely. It's going to get interesting down there, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a lot of participation.
Look how far back. See the lights?
It's awesome.
It's like Field of Dreams closing scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we go.
If you close it, they will come.
Maybe they won't. If you close it, they'll
Maybe
stop
they
coming.
won't come. Yeah. So meanwhile, The Blaze posted a video that apparently shows Texas building a wall.
Yeah.
Despite what the Biden administration says.
I looked for more context on this. It was just a short, simple post by our Blaze folks that says that's what they're doing.
Oh. Well,
but I couldn't find a story to go with it. So, okay. So has Abbott now instructed them?
Razor wire at the top of that.
Right.
You're all set.
Have we graduated from razor wire? And now we're like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do the wall. We got the materials right there. They're just rotting anyway.
Yeah.
I could not find more information on that, but I need it, because that is, oh boy.
That's interesting.
It sure is.
And will no doubt set off another lawsuit by our federal government against Texas. Mm-hmm. Up in New York, there's still fallout from the illegals who beat the NYPD police officers. You saw that on the street. They're right on the street, 7 of them against 2 police officers. New Yorkers are beside themselves now that the crime from illegal aliens is on their own streets up there. Instead of the streets in Texas and Arizona and California and New Mexico, now that it's affecting them directly, they're not that happy about it.
No.
Here's a report from CNN, and the anchors just have no words.
The back. You don't touch our police officers. You don't touch anybody. Thank you, everybody.
I mean, we're hearing a change when it comes to immigration in general from President Biden on down. Right. To hear her talk about that, it is also directly related to the fact that these were police officers. Does that have any impact? Does that change anything?
Well, it's so complicated because, you're a New Yorker. You move through the city every day, as I do. We see these people. We touch these people. They're out looking for work. They're delivering our food. They're at the gas stations and the car wash. I mean, these are people.
Is he talking
who
about
came
illegals here?
In waves.
Pause it for a second. They deliver our food. What do they do? Run that back a minute. At first I thought he was talking about New Yorkers. No, he's talking about the illegals.
Nah, he's got cover. You can say that on CNN or in a Democratic.
Oh
hearing.
my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, let's see this from the top again. Wow.
Anything?
Well, it's so complicated because, you're a New Yorker. No. You move through the city every day as I do. We see these people. We touch these people. They're out looking for work. They're delivering our food.
Pause it. Okay, they're out looking for work. They're delivering our food. They touch us. We touch them.
Yeah, come on.
They fill up our gas tanks. They do our lawns. I mean, first of all, this is racist.
Yeah.
Secondly,
you can't say that.
And I thought stereotyping people like this was a bad thing. They do it all the time.
Power in the D, man.
All the time. And he's defending the illegals who are beating police officers, who are driving drunk, who are killing people, who are bringing fentanyl across the border.
Well, he goes on to explain that there is a way to stop this. There is a way.
Let's hear it.
Wash. I mean, these are people who came in waves, 170,000 probably to New York City. But within that group,
right,
this hardworking, throngs of people in search of hope and a better life, there is this 1%er, criminal element that looks at a different opportunity here. These individuals, I went over their rap sheets yesterday, multiple charges, grand larceny, robbery, attempted robbery, grand larceny, this particular crew operated on mopeds and scooters. They were doing organized retail theft. They were doing snatches on the street, iPhones, iPads, clothing, so on and so forth.
No, stop.
One of them that they are still seeking has 10 charges on one day because he's part of a pattern that's been going on. And I'm looking at the dates that their arrest started, which is probably close to when they got here. They've only been here a couple of months. So what the detectives are telling me is they have crews here that operate in New York, do all their stealing, then go to Florida to spend the money, and then come back. And I'm like, well, why don't they just stay and steal in Florida? And they said, because there you go to jail.
Thank you! They don't even know what to say.
Keep us posted on this.
Keep us posted, because I got nothing to follow up with.
They don't know what to say.
Incredible.
Okay, they're committing crimes in New York.
Yes.
Stealing things.
Yes.
Then they go to Florida, spend the money from their ill-gotten booty.
Yes.
And then they come back.
But why don't they steal in Florida?
Because they'll be put in jail there.
Oh.
Yeah. So he just admitted this Democrat-run area is enabling this, is encouraging, is promoting this behavior.
Incredible.
Because of their crappy laws, because of their touchy-feely theories and value system.
Oh, by the way, who was the DA that released those illegals into the wilds? Alvin Bragg, ladies and gentlemen. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the guy who went after Trump early on.
I'm a little confused.
Let's go.
Because
we're not coming after you. No one's coming after you. You're good.
I appreciate
We've
that.
seen your papers.
But didn't Trump say this and he got in trouble?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they're bringing drugs.
Yes.
They're bringing crime.
Right.
They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people.
How can you?
Right. Yes.
Somebody's doing the raping.
You remember how long they cried and moaned about that?
That guy said the same thing.
You have Jeb Bush to thank for the 4 years that we had with Donald Trump as president, because that, if memory serves, that speech was not getting a lot of traction. That was his opening speech.
Yes.
That he came down the escalator, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Jeb Bush plucked out of that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, the hate from this guy. Can you believe this guy over here? And people went, wait a minute. No. Actually, that resonates with Americans. That resonates with me. Who's this Trump guy? Let me hear about this campaign of his.
Although Democrats did jump on that Jeb Bush bandwagon and started bashing Trump because of it. Well, now it's a different deal. Now they're saying what he said, and it's perfectly acceptable.
It's
perfectly
wild.
Fine. What a country, man.
Incredible.
What a country.
And New York City still wants to hand out prepaid credit cards to these illegals.
Can you believe this?
Funded by taxpayers, of course. $53 million plan. 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah.
Saw this.
He did.
Posted a message on Instagram.
Yeah, look at this.
To Mayor Eric Adams.
He had a point here. WTF, Mayor Adams? Call my phone. I don't understand how this works. Somebody explain. So-and-so can't explain this. I'm stuck. Maybe Trump is the answer.
Wow.
50 Cent. Speaking of Trump in New York, he said over the weekend, and I don't know if he has polling data. I don't know if he's just talking, shooting from the hip here, but he thinks that he has a chance to win New York this time around. Who knows? Wow. Who knows, man? But I want to live in that America.
Yeah. I mean,
where you have a chance to have a Republican win New York.
With what's been going on since this illegal onslaught in New York City, and New York State, and in Boston, and all up and down the East Coast, things are changing.
Yeah.
Attitudes are changing about the illegal alien situation. Now that they've got a nice little taste of what it's like to be a border state, they don't like it. Yeah. And maybe that will swing enough people to vote for Trump to finally do something about it, because they see that this administration is just making it worse.
Yeah, I don't know if I sent in the Elon Musk tweet, but he tweeted over the weekend. Did I send that in, Joe? Because, I mean, he has millions and millions of followers on Twitter, obviously. I mean, it's his platform. But, I mean, a lot of people see his messages, and he tweeted out, Biden's strategy is very simple. Get as many illegals into the country as possible, legalize them to create a permanent majority, a one-party state. That is why they are encouraging so much illegal immigration. Simple yet effective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he coupled that, when he tweeted that out, he coupled it with a news story that said that Joe Biden is looking to basically legitimize these people, give them, it didn't say citizenship, but basically make them legal. So what are they going to be next? Voters, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole plan here. And it's,
well, yeah, that's always been the plan from
it's
Democrats.
Almost like the Great Replacement theory was accurate.
And almost like their plan from the very beginning. It's not, that's not a Republican talking point.
No.
Nobody has ever said, hey, white people are being replaced by brown people. I mean, I don't know anybody who talks like that. What they were saying is that Democrats are trying to replace white people in this country. And can that even be disputed?
Right. Come on now.
I mean, It's obvious that that's what they want to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're a New Yorker, how enraged are you when you see this plan to give $53 million in these prepaid credit cards to illegals?
Mm-hmm.
I love Carroll Roth tweeted out. She said something along the lines of, okay, hear me out. Take that money and use it to deport them.
What a concept. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to you and to
is.
me and to right-thinking Americans.
Yeah.
But it would go against the...
And Carroll Roth is pretty moderate. Carroll Roth is not like an extreme right-wing kook, but she gets it. That's the thing now. People are starting to understand, which is why this was such a brilliant plan. One of the best things politically any governor's ever done. Thank you, Greg Abbott, for that. I mean, not a perfect governor, but he's done some really good things, and this is definitely one of them. It has raised awareness like you can't believe about this border problem that nobody would have comprehended if he hadn't done what he did. So, pretty amazing. Last year, because of you, Preborn's network of clinics saw over 58,000 babies saved. So, thanks to everybody who made this possible. Dominique really struggled with her faith. When she found out she was pregnant, she didn't know how she could carry a baby to term, but she called on God for help and asked for a sign. Well, incredibly, a man told her that there was a better way, and he walked her across the street from probably a Planned Parenthood clinic to a Preborn Network clinic, which is why so many of these preborns are very close to Planned Parenthood clinics. When she saw her beautiful baby on an ultrasound and realized that was an actual person inside of her, the answer came loud and clear. She chose life for her precious son, Javon. These babies are truly miraculous, and every day Preborn celebrates 200 miracles just like that. $28 a month can be the difference between the life or death of a child. When a mother meets her baby on an ultrasound and hears that heartbeat, it's a divine connection that doubles a baby's chance at life. So let's continue to join together here and help mothers choose life. Then once they've chosen life, Preborn helps them afterward, because that part is so important, so critical. So just dial pound 250 and then say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby. Or you could visit preborn.com/Pat. Preborn.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Well, despite all the chaos and crime that Biden's policies have unleashed on America, he just wants to be our friend.
Oh.
At a moment of deep division in our nation, President Lincoln said, "We are not enemies." He said, "We are not enemies."
Yeah, we heard you.
But friends.
Oh.
We must not be enemies.
Pregnant pause.
He went on to say. I've long believed we have to look at each other, even in our most challenging times, not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Scripture tells us.
Oh, here we go.
The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. I believe that's our collective calling today.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
don't even know where that was. Where was that? Was that over the weekend?
He didn't know where he was either.
Yeah. He didn't
or
know
what he was
said.
reading, what he was saying. He had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. But, then the scripture part came, and you could tell how heartfelt it was. Just like Jeffy when he talks about reading his scriptures every morning on the way in.
That's true.
So it was beautiful.
Even that guy was taking notes. He was like, "Oh, profound."
Oh yeah, you didn't want to miss anything.
Yes,
that's the same guy who stood in front of that basically Nazi background with his fists raised,
right? And the same guy who rails against half of America every single day. Now all of a sudden he wants to be friends. Bull crap!
I don't know where that
what
was.
Garbage! Ugh. He was campaigning this weekend. He had this to say to his supporters.
So this is a group of folks assembled in this room. We're going to be able to say, God willing, that this generation help save democracy. I mean, in a literal sense.
In a literal sense. Literally, except for the fact that we're not a democracy.
Yeah, that's one of those clips you pull just so you can get a rise out of Pat.
Oh, man.
You got any comments to say? Literally saving democracy, Pat.
Yeah. Except for the fact that we're not a democracy. Okay? We are not a democracy.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, just if I could make that point clear.
That's not
might be the first time I've said that, so maybe you haven't heard that before. But I'd like to just emphasize we are not a democracy.
How ironic, though, that old geezer fart. I'll stop there. He is out there talking about we got to be friends, we got to save democracy, and both him and his party and those in his evil army are doing everything they can to keep his likely presidential opponent off the ballot in every state.
Yeah, do you love
in
that?
so many states.
Yeah,
it's like, but no, we're going to get along and we're going to save democracy. Yeah. Except for I'm not going to let you vote for the guy you want to vote for.
Yeah,
that would be crazy. Which, by the way, I mean, he would love to have his, obviously, be the only name on the ballot. But did you see that the president of Ecuador just got reelected with 87% of the vote, legitimately, not like Saddam Husseinville. But, I mean, this guy's awesome down there. Look at South America with Argentina and you got Ecuador with because that was the guy that was pushing ivermectin, Bitcoin, cleaned up all the gangs.
Right.
Look to South America as the shining beacon of freedom as we go forward. Seriously, that's
amazing.
The world has been flipped upside down.
No question.
It's tragic. It's depressing.
Yes, it is.
But I'm happy that some parts of the world have freedom.
Yeah, it's nice that some people get it. And, it's that pendulum thing.
Yeah.
The pendulum swung so far to the left in Central and South America that now it is swung equally far back to the right in some cases. And, they're looking for Trump-like characters because that's what it's going to take to restore their countries. You're going to have to do something radically different than you've been doing to save your country. And we're experiencing that here, too. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Paco D tweets, even Bill Maher understands. Somehow that is not comforting. It's not comforting that even Bill Maher understands?
Well, once he realizes that the majority of immigrants coming across are Catholic, then he will go back
pissed
to the other side.
Yeah, that's true. Vicky Johnston tweets, in regards to our southern border, color me curious. Exactly how are 3 still getting over the razor wire?
Oh, yeah, Abbott said 3 instead of 3,000 are getting through every day where the razor wire is.
Catapult, trebuchet, hang glider. We need answers and a way to make that number 0. Probably never going to make the number 0. I mean, I'd take it if it's 3.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I mean, that's a massive improvement.
Because, I mean, if they're doing that, their ingenuity and they got skills.
It might be pole vault. They might have some really good pole
then you
vaulters.
have to award them not only asylum but citizenship if you're launching yourself into America.
Because, I mean, we're talking, what, 20 feet? 25 feet? You're getting close to world record pole vaults there.
Hey, and the good news is when they land and break their arm, they'll have free health care waiting for them here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Lone Wolf 2965, that guy needs to be investigated if he's walking around the streets of New York touching people.
All right, the CNN guy. That's funny.
Unrepentant thought criminal. CNN host calls illegals in New York City hardworking, then lists all the crimes they're committing. Apparently, crime is hard work.
That's fair. Good stuff.
Oh, man. Meanwhile, PBS has released a documentary just in time for the election year, which watch this clip here, because the January 6th committee has really admitted in this that the whole January 6th committee situation and primetime television show was all made for TV. It was just, it was kabuki theater, just like we said it was during that time period. Watch this.
Thompson's committee had gathered a trove of information. The challenge, what to do with it.
The one thing that we knew was the information that we have is compelling.
What a douchebag.
The thing we needed to do was tell that to the American people in a compelling way.
Compelling way.
So that's why we brought in a former president of ABC News.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a call pretty much out of the blue.
Did you?
From the January 6th committee.
I got a call.
They wanted a storyteller. And while they were brilliant, brilliant.
We turned to a British storyteller for this. Isn't that great? That should tell you everything you need to know right there. So I got a call. This is staggering to me. But I'm sure nobody will pay attention to this. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned at the time that, wow, they've got a guy from the world of TV coming to produce this.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going a step further and saying, oh, yeah, it was totally like a mini-series.
Yeah, well, watch this. Listen to what they say, how they compare it to TV.
And while they were brilliant lawyers.
Right.
Storytelling for a mass audience is not what they do.
That's not what they do.
To bring in a guy like this who would think outside the box really did prove to be fruitful. And it was Goldston who really began to envision this as, in a way, a kind of mini-series, that there would be, sort of 9 episodes, and that these episodes would tackle particular themes.
Incredible.
Attack on the Capitol. The investigation.
The first hearing was primetime television.
As the nation is about to witness a defining moment. Wow. The first hearing before the country, the results of the January 6th investigation.
This is an extraordinary moment in American history.
When it came to that first hearing, we knew how high the stakes were.
Is about to hold its first primetime hearing.
We were either going to, make people realize that this was important. Or once you've lost them, you've lost them for good.
Mm-hmm. On the evening of June 9th, 8:01 p.m., the doors opened. My heart was beating pretty fast on June 9th.
Uh-huh.
And it was a real question of, is this going to work or not?
All right, everybody, here we go. 5 on the line, please.
I'm in this tiny control room right up the stairs from Cannon Caucus. And we count down to the start of the hearing. And at that point, what can you do?
Not much, I'm thinking.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
And
the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack
look at
on the United States Capitol will be in order. Without objection.
We wanted to make sure that this was a presentation that would grab the audience and hold on to him. Chairman Thompson loved to say, it's got to pop.
You failed. You didn't hold on to him.
Wow. That's amazing.
I don't know the answer to this, but I want to know if week 2 of the XFL back in the day had higher ratings than the January 6th committee.
Probably.
That was...
Probably.
They don't even hide it, man.
So who did the special effects for him? Did they bring in Spielberg for that, or Lucasfilms? What's the name of his special effects? It's I don't know, but it's like the state of the art one, you know, that he's got in Silicon Valley. I forget what he calls that, but maybe they came in and did the special effects. That's great. I mean, we knew it was theater at the time, but to hear them admit it is interesting.
Industrial Light and Magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, no,
ILM.
they didn't need all those special effects because they didn't use 99% of the camera angles that they had. So,
jeez,
they didn't need all that.
Well, despite all of this, Democrats may have a big problem this year with the black vote. MSNBC went to a black barber shop.
MSNBC did this.
MSNBC, yeah.
Okay.
There are some people in your orbit who are either voting for Donald Trump or considering it?
For sure. A lot of my friends are obviously my age, so we're a little younger. We've only voted once, for a president. And Trump is kind of all we know. And they're Trump and Biden. They're like, well, we were broke with Biden. We weren't with Trump. And that's kind of the only thing that I'm hearing over and over again, is that, well, Trump, we had money.
Oh, wait, what?
With Trump, we had money. Okay.
That should be a bumper sticker for every American.
Yeah.
With Trump, we had money.
We had money.
Yes.
That goes a long way in an election cycle. So, yeah, let's just not forget that slogan. With Trump, we had money.
I love it.
Then we got this. Leftists threatening to attack conservatives at home and church should Trump win the 2024 election.
Oh, boy.
That's fun.
Wait. Hold. Yeah, you can play this.
We need to go find out where they live, where they go to church, who they hang around with, and bird dog their asses.
Bird dog their asses.
Wow.
Okay, so that's just...
Wow.
That kind of sets the stage for this article that you've got.
Radical leftists gathered outside the Heritage Foundation to demand a stop to Project 2025, the conservative nonprofit's plan for how they want a future Republican president to run the country. Earlier this week, progressive rally-goers staged a protest, intimidating and threatening conservatives who want Trump back in office. Their focus is to demolish conservatives who plan to destroy the left's radical agenda that has made the United States unrecognizable. Activists held signs that read Heritage Foundation is toxic to the nation and Stop the Coup 2025. Do they know what a coup is? They also hung signs and crime scene tape around the building. One of the protesters was captured on video threatening to harass staffers at their homes and churches. Was that the guy?
That was the guy.
We just saw?
Yeah, it was the guy.
At the same time, another set accused Project 2025 of turning the United States into a Christian conservative autocracy that's authoritarianism.
Oh, God. Stop.
And Christina Desky, leader of Stop the Coup 2025, described that the organization is intended as a big tent in opposition and that their plan B is to be prepared in case the Republicans win in 2024. J.W. Walker, a New York-based anti-fascist or Antifa organizer, is also part of the group.
Wait, what now? I'm sorry, Antifa what?
Yeah, it's a part of the group.
Oh, that's good. So
we have to embarrass them. That's the tactic. Find out where they live. Find out where their office is. When we disrupt business as usual, they pay attention. Money is their god. When we mess with their money, they will listen to you.
It doesn't even register on the radar of outrage among anyone. The left doesn't even care.
No, they don't care.
Remember now, this is still the same country technically, that lost its mind on the left when Sarah Palin says we need to target these congressional districts. Jeez. Oh my gosh, the hateful, violent rhetoric.
Yeah.
And then you got this guy and that group. Let's listen to this guy again, can we?
We need to go find out where they live, where they go to church.
Oh my God.
Who they hang around with, and bird dog their asses.
Sounds like a terrorist threat to me. Fascinating.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Boy, it's gonna be a fun year.
We've come a long way since Target the District from Sarah Palin. We've come a long way since then. And here's one of those leftists.
That's what we just said,
yeah. But Nikki Haley still thinks she has a chance to beat Trump, of course, for the nomination.
That's cute.
She was given some free airtime on Saturday Night Live.
This was weird, man.
Over the weekend.
What is
Okay, our next question comes from someone who describes herself as a concerned South Carolina voter.
Yes, hello. My question is, why won't you debate Nikki Haley?
Oh, my God, it's her. The woman who was in charge of security on January 6th. It's Nancy Pelosi.
For the 100th time, that is not Nancy Pelosi.
Alec Baldwin is so
Nikki
much better.
Haley.
Are you doing okay, Donald? You might need a mental competency test.
You know what I did? I took the test and I aced it, okay? Perfect score. They said I'm 100% mental. And, I'm competent because I'm a man. That's why a woman should never run our economy. Women are terrible with money. In fact, a woman I know recently asked me for $83.3 million.
And you've spent $50 million in your own legal fees. Do you need to borrow some money?
Oh, Nikki, don't do this, Nikki. Nikki Tiki Tavi. Nikki, don't lose that number. Nikki Haley, Joel Osment. Nikki Haley, Joel Osment, we call her. 6 cents. Remember that one? I see dead people.
He had to remind the audience why that was funny.
That's what voters will say if they see you and Joe on the ballot.
Oh, that's not very nice, Nikki. It's not nice. And I'm always very nice to you, except when I'm implying you weren't born in this country. Even though you're from South Carolina, and now I'm going to beat you in your state.
And did you win your home state in the last election?
I won Staten Island. And the parts of Long Island where the fist fights happen, where they get out of the cars if you honk at them. I love my World Star Whites.
So bad.
All right, well, that is a new one.
How is this show still on the air?
Okay, we have time for one more question, and it's actually for Ambassador Haley.
Do I need to know her?
I was just curious, what would you say was the main cause of the Civil War? And do you think it starts with an S and ends with a lavery?
Yep, I probably should have said that the first time. And live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. How do you put that on national television?
Who was worse,
every
though?
week?
Nikki Haley as herself or the Trump impersonator guy?
Nikki Haley as herself. For sure.
Because that impersonation, where is Alec Baldwin? Is he in jail yet? Is that why he couldn't do that? Or
I don't know. Whole thing's bad.
That was so bad.
Poorly written.
That says a lot about her, though. Like, why would you go to SNL? What conservatives watching SNL?
She's trying to destroy every single chance she has with any conservative in this country.
On Sunday morning, social media was going after Lorne Michaels for even, I guess, extending the invite. I don't know how that whole thing went down.
Yeah, I bet they were.
I don't know.
They were.
Did they reach out to her? Did she reach out to them? I have no idea.
Crazy. Jeez.
Gross.
Speaking of the $83 million, though, maybe I don't know if we can get to all of this, but Gavin McInnes came up with 25 reasons E. Jean Carroll won't get one penny of the $83 million from Trump.
Good.
He said, here's the 25 reasons why that's crazy. Okay. Number one, E. Jean Carroll has said rape is sexy. I'm not sure that's going to affect it, but she talked about think of the fantasies. That was her big deal on the rape situation.
Anderson Cooper.
The fantasies? Wow. Okay. Number two, she's already bragging about shopping sprees. In fact, she said she was going to take Rachel Maddow to Paris or something. Get her an apartment, a penthouse apartment. Take her to Paris and take her fishing and buy her fishing equipment, all of that.
Need to take Rachel Maddow to Joseph A. Bank, honestly.
The scenario she described came from her favorite TV show. I'm not sure I knew this. She's apparently a really big Law and Order fan, and there's an episode in Law and Order where a man muscles his way into a changing room at Bergdorf Goodman, where she says the rape happened, and sexually molests a woman. She was also a huge fan of The Apprentice. So after she got raped by the guy, she loved to watch him on TV every week. Strange, isn't it? I mean, it does make this very, very bizarre.
But this is the stuff that he's listing that should have prevented this guilty verdict to begin with.
I know. She didn't want to press criminal charges. Number 5, they changed the law. The case had no merit because the statute of limitations on civil action had passed. So what happened? They changed the law. Number 6, the man who backed the lawsuit is a major DNC donor.
Yep.
Reid Hoffman. Number 7, the whole thing was George Conway's idea, apparently. Though she denies it, it's clear this entire plan was concocted by George Conway at a radical leftist cocktail party in Manhattan. Interesting. Hadn't heard that. Number 8, her lawyer is desperate to fix her reputation as a rape enabler. Number 9, Carroll's dress didn't exist back then. She said the rape happened in the early 1990s. Yeah, that's right. She couldn't even pin down what year it was. When you've been raped, would you not remember the exact time, place, day, all of those things? You'd circle it on your calendar. You would remember something like this. She didn't. She didn't know. It could have been 92, 93, 94, 95. Anyway, we just learned the particular dress she said she allegedly was wearing didn't even exist.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is some good stuff. Number 10, she can't remember when, we just covered this, when the rape happened. She won't let anyone test her coat for DNA. She doesn't know if, I'm not even going to read that one. Number 13, she's a serial accuser. Despite being 3.5, according to McInnes, she's claimed men have sexually assaulted her at least half a dozen times. Okay, there's more. Perhaps we'll get to it.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. 888-933-93. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We were just talking about the some of the reasons from Gavin McInnes. Some of the reasons that he doesn't believe E. Jean Carroll will get any of that $83 million she was just awarded in the civil trial against Donald Trump. As we've discussed multiple times, it seems like an incredibly specious lawsuit. It is totally unreasonable. It doesn't make any sense. It never has. I don't know how she won either time. She won the $5 million judgment months ago, and then just recently, was it last week, she won the $83 million. Total of $88 million, supposedly, that Donald Trump now owes her. But here's some of the weird things she has said and done, and some of the things that give you pause and make you think she might not ever see a penny of this. Because certainly, though, there's going to be an appeal on this. But she is called rape sexy. Think of the fantasies, was her line. She's bragging about shopping sprees, taking Rachel Maddow to Paris. The scenario she described seems to have come from her favorite TV show, Law & Order, where they did an episode where a man muscles a woman into a changing room at Bergdorf Goodman, where this supposedly took place, and sexually molests her. Same thing as the TV show. She didn't want to press criminal charges. New York had to change the law to allow the lawsuit. The man who backed the lawsuit is a major DNC donor. This is thought to have been George Conway's idea, start to finish. Her dress The dress she claimed she was wearing at the time when Donald Trump raped her didn't even exist back in the early 90s when it supposedly happened. She can't remember, in fact, when the rape happened exactly. It was 1993 or 1994 or 1995. She doesn't know. She won't let anybody test her coat she was wearing for DNA. She's a serial accuser. She claims that she's been sexually assaulted at least half a dozen times. She said it wasn't sexual. She's not his type, of course, and that pissed her off. She was hurt by that. The judge and Carroll's lawyer are friends.
Yeah, that came out
That's
after the fact.
Yeah.
And that is grounds for a mistrial, according to some. So we'll see.
She didn't talk to anybody about the alleged assault until she finally did. Even if it's true, the settlement would be tiny. Like one fraction of $83 million.
She doesn't deserve a cent, in my opinion.
But they say that in a situation like this, the most you would be awarded is like $28,000. So we're about $82,972,000 off. $82,972,000 off.
For a second.
She said women love being abducted. Told that to Charlie Rose back in 1995. Okay. It goes back to the time when men would beat the women unconscious and drag them by the hair back to their cave. Apparently, she thought that was pretty hot.
Okay.
She said it wasn't a big deal. I'm a mature woman. I can handle it. Then why do you need $83 million to recover? Let's not forget the mouse house she lives in. She's a hoarder. I mean, these just all go to her mental stability. She's not stable mentally. Her cat is named Vagina. Interesting. She writes notes to herself. And Carroll also said she wanted to rape Trump.
What?
Yeah, apparently she thought about having rough sex with him in the changing room.
Okay.
She would make for a funny story.
Well, oh, geez. This makes no sense at all.
None of it makes sense. And that's kind of the point of why she shouldn't be getting a penny of his money.
I'm kind of hung up, though, on one of the things you mentioned that McInnes points out. She writes notes to herself. Hello? Well, I mean, the reminders. There's a fine line between note to yourself and reminder to yourself.
Yeah.
Let's be careful with that one.
Also, earlier we mentioned the truckers who arrived at the southern border.
Yeah.
To try to make a difference there. In France, farmers blocked major cities there and got the government to respond. French farmers demanding just prices and less bureaucratic red tape began lifting blockades across the country on Friday after the government made further concessions. So it worked.
To a degree, yeah.
President Emmanuel Macron's government has pledged it will scrap plans to raise tax contributions on tractor diesel, ease pesticide regulations, and put a pause on new fallow land rules and additional safety checks on food imports. These were costly policies endorsed by Klaus Schwab and the WEF. With the pledges from the French government, one farmer said, "We're not 100% satisfied. It's certain that there's been measures taken. It's always better than nothing. But hey, we're not going to give up."
Oh, good. More blockades coming, apparently.
Meanwhile, the protests that started in France have now spread to other European countries, including Belgium, where Dutch and Belgian farmers banded together to block the border between Belgium and the Netherlands on Friday.
EU countries are all taking their turn. They're kind of going around there because we've had Germany, Italy. I guess it's back around to the Dutch farmers there.
Yeah, the Netherlands have been one of the forerunners on this whole movement. They've been involved in this for a while. But did Joe go to? Wasn't he supposed to go to East Palestine over the weekend? Did he do that?
I
haven't seen anything either on that.
And then yesterday he had a tweet that said something. Did I print this up? Oh, yeah. Because the whole thing last week was he's going to be there for the 1-year anniversary, which was Saturday of the massive train derailment. And then he tweeted out, let's see, on Saturday, this month I'll travel to East Palestine, Ohio to meet with residents impacted by the Norfolk Southern train derailment to discuss our commitment to supporting this community for as long as it takes and how we will continue to hold Norfolk Southern accountable. Remember, he hasn't been there. And it's been a year now. But I haven't seen anything. I checked the presidential schedule, the public schedule. There was nothing on it that said anything about Ohio for this weekend. It's weird.
This is a flashback to our reporter asking when he'd get to East Palestine and the site of the train derailment.
You said in March that you would go to East Palestine, Ohio. You came here. How come you haven't gone to East Palestine yet?
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. I was thinking whether I'd go to East Palestine
busy he is on the left there.
this week, but I then was reminded I've got to go literally around the world. I'm going from Washington to India to Vietnam, and so it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, it's over a year now.
And if you're listening,
over a year.
That video of him babbling was juxtaposed with him sunning on the beach. How many times has he been to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, St. Croix? I mean, he's
goes to Rehoboth all the time. The time.
He's had the opportunity.
No.
I would argue.
Please. Yeah.
I can't wait to see the video. That is going to be a PR nightmare if they do anything publicly in that town. I mean, you're going to hear booing. You're going to hear, it's going to be...
Yeah, I don't think he'll be well received there in East Palestine. I don't think they appreciate him.
He'll be well received as he was in Maui. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, he was very well
received. Can we talk about
Maui,
by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Put the images up from Maui. Speaking of disasters that the Biden administration doesn't care about. No. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. We got, oh, gosh. Is this... Nick Sortor has posted this. He says West Maui and Lahaina residents are literally being forced out of their homes into literal roadside tents due to Biden's FEMA. Because FEMA's housing efforts have been a total failure, they've now resulted in coercing landlords to evict their current tenants and replace them with FEMA tenants. FEMA has driven rent prices through the roof, causing housing to become unaffordable to the masses, as FEMA is paying at least 130% above market rates. Meanwhile, short-term rentals sit vacant. Many of these newly displaced residents have lost their jobs due to the fire anyway, so their only choice is to be homeless or move off the island. They're receiving absolutely zero aid whatsoever. Where is Joe Biden?
Weren't they getting like $200 checks? Like, bro, make it stretch.
Yeah, it was about that. I mean, you talk about being completely forgotten. Meanwhile, we've got, the Senate saying, well, we're about to send $60 billion more to Ukraine. What of it? It's madness. And by the way, did Ukraine bomb a bakery? Do we have confirmation on that? Russia claiming Ukraine has bombed a bakery, killing dozens of innocents there. But I mean, this administration, this president is so just out. He's gone with any kind of problem that this nation faces. And people would say Trump has no empathy. Are you kidding me? 180 degrees from where Joe Biden's brain is. It's sad to see this country.
He's the worst. He's the worst.
Yes, he is. So we don't know when he's going to get to East Palestine, but I'm sure you guys are really eagerly awaiting that visit.
Oh, yeah, they can't wait. They can't wait for the dear leader to show up. Oh, speaking of dear leaders, Kim Jong Un has a propaganda video out that you might want to take a look at.
A propaganda video? What do you mean? This guy's a hero. Look at this. He's going to fly this jet.
Is he the best pilot in the history of the planet? That's probably what they're saying now. I don't have any translation on there, but
the man who has captured a unicorn and hit 18 holes. Oh, no, that was his dad.
Yeah, his dad was a god. So
didn't he descend from the sky in a?
What's he pointing at? What is he? I'm going over there. Yes, I'm pushing buttons. Look at me. Don't leave your hand up there too long. People will think you're flying. And then I'll have to execute you.
The narrator is very excited about this.
Yes.
Very excited.
Well, she does have a gun to her head as she's reading the script.
You said it, man. Oh, boy.
That's good stuff.
That's
good stuff. We need one of those for Joe Biden, our dear leader. Because, Yeah, because apparently there are people who don't appreciate him the way they should, and we got to fix that.
Did you get your government issued Joe Biden picture hanging in your household?
Oh, of course.
You got to keep that thing dusted and polished. You know that, right?
Absolutely.
And lit up at all times.
Yeah, you cannot just lit it. You don't hang it and forget it.
No, you don't.
You understand?
And you pray to it every single day.
I mean, wait.
Oh, they'd like that, wouldn't they?
They would like that.
They'd like that.
The left would absolutely love if America were like that.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, no question.
As long as it's their approved guy.
All right, let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. They've been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider for a long time, for 10 years at least. Glenn and the team there have been great supporters of this show, which is one of the reasons I'm proud to partner with them. Patriot Mobile offers dependable nationwide coverage. They give you the ability to access all 3 major networks, which means you get the same coverage you've been accustomed to without funding the left. So important. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending the message that you support free speech, religious freedom, sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, our military and veterans, and first responders. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching really easy. You can keep your number if you want. You can keep your phone or upgrade both. Their team will help you find just exactly the best plan for you. Go to patriotmobile.com/Pat, or you could call 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation when you use the offer code PAT. So join me and make the switch today to Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com, patriotmobile.com/Pat, or call 972-PATRIOT.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
And some tweets here concerning Jean Carroll and her absolute bizarre behavior. Lynn tweets, women certainly do not love to be abducted. She sounds like a psycho nut job going after Trump. Yes. Johnny Ringo, they actually did come up with a date on the Trump accusation by Jean.
Oh.
The 19th of never. Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right.
Democrats always cheat. Does Jean Carroll write notes to herself, or does she write love notes to herself? She definitely seems like the type that would be doing the latter. Yeah, and here's proof of her favorite television show, Law and Order, and this might be, allegedly, where she got the idea.
And it was not her fantasy, it was mine. Okay. Yep. Role play took place in the dressing room of Bergdorf's. While she was trying on lingerie, I would burst in. Hold on.
Shocking. Right. Yeah. Mm-mm. Wow. The only thing that didn't happen was that they didn't say it was Donald J. Trump. That's about the only difference.
What was that? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Was it Kevin Pollak, man? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that guy. Sorry.
All right. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Last night was the Grammys presentation.
Oh.
Yeah, it was historic.
Yeah?
It was absolutely
You're
historic.
into it, aren't you?
Oh, my gosh. Just the fabulous music and, women won this time, which apparently has never happened before or something. I don't know. A woman has never won a Grammy before, despite the fact that I think the biggest Grammy winner in history is, in fact, a woman named Beyonce Knowles, by the way. So, but last night was historic nonetheless.
Okay.
Best pop solo performance went to Miley Cyrus for Flowers. That was the big winner. Some of the other nominees were Doja Cat, Paint the Town Red, Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For from Barbie. Taylor Swift didn't win that particular category, and Olivia Rodrigo with Vampire. Best R&B song went to Ja for Snooze. One of my favorites. So good.
Just that one song?
Snooze? No,
Yeah.
I love
okay.
all of her
You want to sing a little bit for us?
latest works. I really don't.
The chorus.
I don't sing well, and I don't think you'd appreciate it. Best pop vocal album went to Taylor Swift, though, for Midnights. And was this the big win for her, the number 4? Nobody's ever won 4 in that category before.
I don't know, but that's when she
Taylor
released her new album as soon as she won the 13th Grammy, because her favorite number is 13.
So she won another one. Well, she won a couple last night. Song of the Year went to Billie Eilish for What Was I Made For from Barbie. Best New Artist, Victoria Monet. No idea who that is. Record of the Year was Flowers by Miley Cyrus again. The Album of the Year, I think that's the category where she won her 4th. Album of the Year, Midnights by Taylor Swift.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a big, historic, fantastic Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus night.
Now, obviously, you're not only a big fan of all the aforementioned artists, but you're also a big fan of the rapper who goes by the name of Killer.
Yeah, Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike. Killer Mike. Thank you.
Killer
Thank
Mike.
you. That's what it was.
Yep.
So, not Big Mike.
No,
Killer
not Big Mike.
Yeah.
I believe Killer Mike won 3 Grammys last night.
And then was promptly
and a pair of handcuffs.
Was arrested.
and walked off in a pair of handcuffs.
Yeah. Now, they said it was separate from the Grammys. So was there a warrant for his arrest?
I don't know, but they must have known.
For assault?
We'll just get him. We know he'll be there.
Yeah, we know he'll be at the Grammys.
Wares.
And he was. And they arrested him there. So
that's awesome. But
yeah, that's fun.
Okay.
Did you guys see the conspiracy theory that is rampant in during the red carpet event? Miley Cyrus was with her bodyguard and his left arm did not move as a normal left arm moves. So there's 2 theories, is that the umbrella that he was holding was a hidden gun inside of it to protect her, or the guy had a left fake arm.
Okay.
Which is why the arm was not moving.
And you sent this video in, yes?
I did not.
Did not.
I didn't know Pat was going to cover, this Miley Cyrus.
I mean, it's my favorite subject.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
You're
the
seeing
Grammys.
Hang on.
Keith? It's interesting, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
So here's the bodyguard. In his left hand, he's carrying a black umbrella.
Yep. Okay. And it's not moving.
I mean, what's it supposed to be doing?
Yeah, what was it supposed to just?
Is that not how you not move when you're holding a black umbrella?
I don't know. I think more concerning is there wasn't a cloud in the sky, right? Or was there? Was there rain? I don't know.
There was rain here.
Oh yeah. Oh wait a minute. This is where was this? In L.A.
L.A. Yeah.
Oh, that's all it's doing right now is raining. I hope y'all are safe out there.
Yeah.
That's been insane. So who knows? But that's an interesting theory.
Who knows?
Not my theory.
Yeah, it didn't look very unusual to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really, that's what we're
you
picking
guys,
apart.
I'm shocked.
Does that
shocked.
look unusual to you, Keith? It didn't seem extraordinary at all. Okay. All right.
I can't. I lost respect.
Is he the only one carrying an umbrella there?
He is.
The only one.
And it seems like he can't even hold it properly. It's just too heavy.
Was he? I don't know what I'm missing.
You guys, it's really upsetting. I'm getting upset. I'm really getting upset.
Board.
Yeah, we want to join you, but I can't find a reason to join you, Chris.
I see what it is. Big umbrella got you guys. Big umbrella.
Yeah, big umbrella. Yeah, you're right. We're on the take from them.
Now I'm just watching this video. I'm expecting to see there's a magazine hanging out. What am I looking for here?
The arm not moving. That's what you're looking for.
His arm is totally real.
I guess Miley, when she performed the song Flowers, she chastised the audience for acting like they didn't know the song. Why are you acting like you don't know the song?
Really?
Oh, get over yourself.
And then Taylor Swift used a fan to cover her mouth every time she talked. Because last time during the Golden Globes, there was a lip reader that was saying everything that she was saying, I guess. And
really?
I guess that's not supposed to happen.
Okay.
So I thought maybe she had a cold sore.
Her Majesty could not have her lips read.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Ooh. Everything she does is fascinating.
Well, duh.
I'll say, if we're going to talk about all these wonderful artists, I'd like to go back to the umbrella talk. Because that was actually more
compelling
than the covering of the mouth thing. So what is that all about? Did somebody write her speech for her? Is that what it was? And they were
no, it was while she was at the table.
Okay,
and the camera panned to her.
Was she saying bad things about the other?
I don't even. Again, I didn't think you guys were going to cover this.
Yeah.
So
you didn't really.
I didn't really look into it.
All right. Well, thanks for bringing up things you didn't really look into. That's helpful.
Have I told you guys
That's helpful,
about the bodyguard for Miley Cyrus? Well, is either a fake arm or a umbrella,
or he's
fake
holding
umbrella.
a gun.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, one of the two.
If you know about that.
One of the two.
Oh, so what you're saying to me right now, if it was a vaccine injury, you would have been all over it.
Oh,
but
of
I'm being made fun of because I think he was holding a gun with a fake arm.
Now, if he walked into the Grammys and then he collapsed, then we're on to something.
Keep paddling in there.
If you look at his face.
Did he
now
die
I gotta go look
suddenly?
Look at his face.
Oh, okay.
He looks zombified.
I love it.
I thought he was going to drop.
All right.
I was waiting for a
Now you're onto something.
vaccine injury.
Yes, now you're on to something.
Zoom into his face, Keith, and you'll see something.
I see nothing.
All right. Well, we'll zoom in on his face.
I got a
and we'll find
conspiracy
the
for you. How
expression
about the
there.
Minnesota state flag? Last week we mentioned it briefly, but thank you to Fury and Energy for sending me an even more compelling comparison. This is a state in Somalia. Look at that.
Which is which?
So you've got the one on the left is the
is Minnesota?
No,
it's
the
Somalia.
Somalia state,
and then the one on the right is the new Minnesota flag.
Yeah,
that is interesting. It certainly is similar.
If you're listening, just take our word for it. It's
similar.
Very, very similar.
Huh
is right.
I mean, that can't just be a coincidence.
Especially when of all 50 states, it's Minnesota, which has the biggest Somali population going in this country.
I mean, second only to Somalia for Somali population. Most of the country now lives here.
Most of every country now lives here.
That is true. All right. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Hey, we still have a few of the Valentine's Day boxes left if you want to send a nice Valentine cookie box to your loved one. They're going to sell out very, very quickly today. So, Kexi.com. Last day for guaranteed delivery by Valentine's Day. They still might arrive by Valentine's if you order after this, but you can't guarantee it after today because we don't actually control the shipping of it. So the shipping people can't guarantee it after today. But go to Kexi.com, KEKSI.com. Delicious cookies that your loved one are going to really appreciate.
Does that promo code still works?
Oh, yeah, the promo code does work. Winter Blues for 10% off. Winter Blues. Just like the Cannon episode. Except it was winter something else, wasn't it? What was it? Winter.
It was Varsity Blues.
Oh, Varsity. It was Varsity Blues?
Yeah.
Varsity Blues.
But that's not the promo code, though.
No, it's Winter Blues. Two interesting stories over the weekend in the mainstream news about kids who regret transitioning. This is really a scary thing because it's become a social contagion. And it's really being pushed and promoted in a lot of schools. The New York Times ran a headline, as kids, they thought they were trans. They no longer do. Ooh, okay, that's a problem. If you transitioned when you thought you were trans, because now you're not, and you didn't wait and see if that worked itself out. Grace Powell was 12 or 13 when she discovered she could be a boy. At 17, desperate to begin hormone therapy, Powell broke the news to her parents. They sent her to a gender specialist to make sure she was serious. Okay. In the fall of her senior year of high school, she started cross-sex hormones. She had a double mastectomy the summer before college, then went off as a transgendered man named Grayson to Sarah Lawrence College, where she was paired with a male roommate on a men's floor. At 5'3", she felt she came across as a very effeminate gay man. At no point during her medical or surgical transition, Powell says, did anyone ask her about the reasons behind her gender dysphoria or her depression. Why would you ask? It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly great. In fact, it's really preferred now, right? If you're not trans, there's something wrong with you. This is scary stuff. At no point was she asked about her sexual orientation. And at no point was she asked about any previous trauma, and so neither the therapists nor the doctors ever learned that she had been sexually abused as a child. I wish there had been more open conversations. Powell, now 23 and detransitioned, says, but I was told there is one cure and one thing to do if this is your problem, and this will help you. Progressives often portray the heated debate over childhood transgendered care as a clash between those who are trying to help growing members of children express what they believe their genders to be, and conservative politicians who won't let kids be themselves. But right-wing demagogues are not the only ones who have inflamed this debate. Okay, this is, keep in mind, from the New York Times. Transgender activists have pushed their own ideological extremism, especially by pressing for a treatment orthodoxy that has faced increased scrutiny in recent years. Under that model of care, clinicians are expected to affirm a young person's assertion of gender identity and even provide medical treatment before or even without exploring other possible sources of distress. My gosh. And by the way, gender affirming is not gender affirming. Gender affirming care would be, I don't know, you're affirming the gender that they really are, right? Wouldn't that be affirming their gender? You're affirming transition here. And if you don't do that, then you're in danger of losing your child. Man, this is just really, really dangerous stuff. Laura Edwards Leeper, the founding psychologist to the first pediatric gender clinic in the United States, said that when she started her practice in 2007, most of her patients had long-standing and deep-seated gender dysphoria. Transitioning clearly made sense for almost all of them, and any mental health issues, they were generally resolved through gender transition. But that is just not the case anymore. She told me recently, told the author of this particular article, while she doesn't regret transitioning the earlier cohort of patients and opposes government bans on transgender medical care, she said, as far as I can tell, there are no professional organizations who are stepping in to regulate what's going on. I mean, should there be somebody regulating what's going on here?
Yeah, and she talked about how, like you just mentioned, early on, everybody coming in here, they knew what they were doing. They were transitioning. And now
but now it's a social contagion.
Flooded with people that look at it as a fad, really.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Also in the Daily Mail, gay teens who couldn't come to terms with their sexuality are now sharing how they removed their breasts and genitals in the false hope that becoming transgender would cure them. As concerns mount that gender-affirming care for children is homophobic. Jeez. What a world. What a world. Gay teenagers disturbed by their own sexuality have described deciding life would be better as a transgender person and undergoing surgery only to regret it several years later. The young people said that in hindsight, drastic surgical operations were offered with insufficient discussion or thought. Their stories emerged as concern grows that so-called gender-affirming care for kids is homophobic, as it permanently changes the bodies of children and young adults who are not transgender, but merely trying to come to terms with their sexuality. This is really, really sad that kids are going through this, and they're not being advised well, and they're being pushed into things that are permanent changes to their body when they could just be confused. I mean, how often have all of us been confused at some point? in our formative years.
And nobody's talking to these children about any of this.
No.
They're just like, yep, we're ready to lop off body parts. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get you on puberty blockers right away, and then we'll start making changes to your physical body. Well, wait a minute. Maybe there's some underlying problem there. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's some other kind of depression. Should we look at that maybe before we start cutting off breasts?
Yeah, and
wow.
I mean, story after story of kids that have gone through this. I mean, the underlying theme of all this is I wish somebody had talked to me about other options before I got down this road this far. But
they don't.
Yeah, they constantly just say, nope, they just said, let's go. Yep, let's go. And in fact, I think it was in Canada in this article, I think one of the articles, I forget which one it was, maybe the Daily Mail one, said something like, the people who are starting these groups for these kids that have been led astray, they're being set up by people who have transitioned, that have seen, oh my gosh, okay, it may have been the right thing for me, but definitely not for these kids. This is, and they're the ones that are now saying, all right, we got to put our foot down. Can we see the Gays Against Groomers tweet that promoted this, one of these articles over the weekend? This says it all perfectly.
Gay teenagers disturbed by their own sexuality have described deciding life would be better as a transgender person and undergoing surgery, only to regret it several years later. We've been saying it this whole time, and the truth is coming out now. This movement uses intersectional buzzwords and hides behind our community to shield itself from criticism while enacting an anti-gay pharmaceutical agenda. Wow. True. Transing minors in the new gay conversion is the new gay conversion therapy for many reasons, including how blatantly homophobic it is. It has no place in American society. Ban it.
Yeah.
That's according to Gays Against Groomers.
I mean, that's exactly what this is. It is an anti-gay agenda to trans these kids. Instead of saying,
seem that way,
so you're confused by your sexuality? Well, maybe you're gay. No. It's you're confused by your sexuality? Well, maybe we should lop off your body parts and have you wreck your whole life. This is exactly what they said it is. An anti-gay movement hiding behind the gay movement in the gay colors. I mean, it's so obvious.
That's such a great point.
It's just so obvious what they're doing. And I don't know if people are waking up to this, to the full what is happening here.
I don't know.
Because I mean, maybe they're seeing it for, hey, let's make sure we give kids options. But do they see that they've been hiding behind the gay movement this whole time? That's the other part of this.
I mean, do they see it? I think yes. I think it's a concerted effort to do that, to use the gay agenda against itself. But they're not going to admit that. They'll never say that. But we will. We'll definitely say it, and just did, as a matter of fact. All right. Guys, do you feel the heat of Valentine's Day breathing down your neck? I know I do. It's, 9 days away?
A week from Wednesday.
Oh, man. So what are you going to do about it? Here's something you can definitely do, and that's get some fresh flowers from Bouqs, which is short for bouquets. But Bouqs has you covered with 25% off your entire purchase at the Bouqs company. Just ordered some for my wife. Absolutely beautiful. Gosh, they arrived fresh and beautiful, and she's had them for about a week now, and they're still fresh and beautiful. That's because they come farm fresh. They order them directly from the farms. Bouqs is really easy. You can buy roses in one click. You can choose one of their unique modern designs if you want that you can't find anywhere else, like the 100 red roses that you've heard about. Valentine's Day is the 14th, a week from Wednesday. I've already placed my order. Please do place yours quickly here. Don't believe it when she says, "No, you don't have to get me anything." That's
she said that like 3 times, though.
Really? No.
Yeah. It's still a lie.
Every time. Yeah, it's at least 3 lies if she said it 3 times. Bouqs, short for bouquet. So BOUQS.com. Bouqs.com. Use the promo code PAT. Get 25% off. BOUQS. Bouqs.com. Promo code PAT.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
All right. On a lighter note, did we show the Elmo tweet last week?
I don't know if this is lighter, but yeah,
it's
let's
Elmo,
see.
bro.
It's Elmo.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know if you know this. He's not real.
Oh, is it not?
What? Yeah, he's not
Okay,
real.
so Elmo tweets out last week because monsters have access to Twitter. Wow, Elmo is glad he asked. Okay, so anyway, this is a because he said because this is missing the context where he said, hey, this is the follow-up tweet. He originally tweeted out, how's it going? Which, Pat loves when strangers come up to him and like, hey, what's going on?
How's it going?
How you doing?
So far.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I just had a guy.
Oh, no.
Every time I get a person out to the house to fix something, they can't stop talking.
Oh, no.
They can't. And I love to talk to people.
Yeah.
You know that. I love to discuss things. I love to get into small talk. There is a time limit in my head, however, and if you exceed that time limit, it switches over to I can't
Where do you go?
stand another second.
Where's your brain go?
It goes.
I start making lists. You start babbling, I'm thinking of what I'm doing next.
How can I end this conversation?
And the longer you babble, the longer the list. And then I'm going to forget things, and I'm going to get pissed at you because I just forgot the list I made because I was already pissed with you.
But my one of our garage doors broke, and the spring on it.
You got to call someone for that.
You got to call somebody. I can't fix this garage. I can't fix anything, but let alone a garage, 500-pound garage door. Ooh. So out he comes, and the first thing he starts into is, "So how's your day going so far? My garage door just broke. It's going to cost me $2,000."
Yeah.
Wow.
You could maybe answer your own question there, okay?
Oh, no.
Not going well so far. But he had to explain every single item in the garage and how it worked and why it was that way.
Didn't ask.
I didn't ask. I don't care. Just fix it.
Did
That's
he
all
talk
I
politics with you?
No, he didn't get it.
Did he talk about Jesus with you?
No, he did not.
Because my plumber did.
Did really?
He talked about politics and Jesus that 2 hours that he was there.
But you love to talk about Jesus, so that was probably great, right?
That part, yes. The first part, no.
Well, yeah, that's why Chris and Jeffy get along so well.
Right.
So, okay. Honestly, I just had this plan come into my head. You got to keep a text drafted to like your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And like the text is just constantly, it just says help, right?
Mm.
And then if you're in these situations,
and then they call.
Oh, I've got that text drafted to Ben.
Sorry, I just got a call.
Send. Oh crap! I got to take this call. Oh, it's your buddy calling?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But what if he waits for you to finish the call with your wife? Because she got locked out of her car, and he waits and then continues the conversation. What's plan B?
I never come back. I don't come back until he's done with the job.
He's got to go check on the beavers down at the creek.
Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
Shoot, gotta go.
Sorry, I'm completely booked the rest of the day now. Dang it! I'd love to have this conversation about how the inner workings of my garage door operate. I'd love to keep hearing about it. I really would. The tension on it. And how much I should be lubricating each of the joints. I would love to continue this.
It's called preventative maintenance.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
By the way, I kind of used, this is before we had cell phones and could text and stuff in college. That's how I got a wife, y'all. I had to meet Carrie's boyfriend coming to town.
Oh.
And I heard they were coming up the stairs. Like, she called and said, hey, we're going to come. Why don't you meet my boyfriend, And then so I called my friend down the hall real quick. I'm like, Brian, you call me in 5 minutes, period. Don't ask me questions. I'll explain it later, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to this guy. I'm like acting like I really like him, and I don't really have the hots for his girlfriend. And then my phone rings, and I'm like, oh, my grandmother's calling today. I got to go. So I totally used Nana in a roundabout way to say, oh, I got to take this call, long distance, and this is when she can talk. So that got me off the hook with that conversation.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to have that uncomfortable conversation with this guy.
And did it get you into Carrie's good graces? Because we know how that worked out.
Yeah.
Somehow
So
it turned out.
Yeah, so instead of me completely ruining the whole thing by making an ass out of myself and telling this guy the truth.
You escaped early.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was awesome.
Nice.
I think Brian called a little quicker than that, so it actually worked out beautifully. Anyway, Elmo tweets out, "How's your day going so far?" Something like that, and people just start unloading about like how bad life is. The country sucks. The world sucks. Everything's on fire. I hate my life. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
And then Elmo, that's when Elmo like replied, "Oh, I'm so glad I asked, and like here's some mental health resources for you. Be sure to call."
Oh, we got mental health help from Elmo.
Yeah. So and like all of his little buddies,
good.
Like I know that Bert and Ernie and Big Bird started tweeting like, "Hey, everything's cool, y'all." Like they totally miscalculated how this would land with the public on social media. But then you got Elmo doing the little mental health tour on the Today Show. And actually, Elmo may need therapy after what happened to him with Larry David on there. Watch this, man. It's crazy.
Let's go over to Alfred, check the weather. And
not yet. Wait.
Oh my gosh, you love Elmo, don't you?
First time Elmo's ever been attacked by anyone.
Ask permission before you touch people, Larry.
Just talk about how you're feeling.
They would have canceled the show, Elmo, if they weren't last season.
Okay, that's an awkward moment.
Very
awkward this time.
Yes, Larry. Somebody had to do it.
Is anybody really surprised?
Somebody
He's gonna sue y'all for the teaser. I'm gonna sue him for selfless.
Wow, that's
right, Louie.
It's an awkward moment. Al has no idea what to do.
Nobody does. Nobody on that set knows.
But what do you do, though?
I don't know.
It's Larry David. He's unpredictable. That's who he is.
Do we know why he was strangling Elmo like that?
He felt America's.
Yeah, he's like,
after that tweet, he was like, "Oh, I got my chance for payback."
This monster's had it coming for a long time.
Oh, 100%.
I'm going to be the one to
tickle
deliver.
me, Elmo. Seriously,
right?
Tickle me, Elmo.
Right.
That says it all.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. That was a long time coming too. Because when was that? Like 20 years ago?
Sure was.
Yes, it was.
20 plus. Yes, sir.
Man.
We are Larry David.
It's amazing. If you can relate to Larry David strangling Elmo the Muppet, I think times are not good.
Hey, that could be a meme.
Not good.
That could be a meme. Larry David is America. Joe Biden is Elmo. That's how we feel.
Oh no,
man.
I would never go that far. Come on.
No,
what are you talking about? Physically assault the president, the rightfully elected president of the United States? I know you were kidding, right, Chris?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I was joking. My bad.
I love that.
Do
man.
not revoke my citizenship, please.
They will. And
no, they won't.
Well, they
no,
they
he's
might.
here legally. Yes, they will.
Yes.
Yeah, he will. All right. Apparently, things are not going well for Tesla right now.
No.
Tesla's lost like billions of dollars, even $100 billion or something in the last little while. Now there's a video of a Tesla crash. Highway surveillance footage shows a Tesla Model S vehicle changing lanes and then abruptly braking in the far left lane of the San Francisco Bay Bridge.
Look at this thing. Look at this.
And it caused an 8-car
Watch the far right there. It just stops. Oh, no. Crash. Watch this one goes flying up.
Oh wow.
Gosh.
Oh, geez. And so we don't know why the Tesla stopped.
I haven't seen the reason why. The aftermath. Now, okay, first of all, you know that the
Are we sure that it was driving itself at that point?
Yeah, I know that much.
Okay.
It started to go over. It came to a stop. But I love the artist, whoever did this photograph and set up the shot there. Let's put a baby stroller right in the frame here. Because there was an actual 2-year-old that was in the crash, though.
Okay.
But there you go. That's we got a ways to go with the old.
Yeah, we do. This is why I
cars.
would not trust the full drive mode on this. The driver told police he was using Tesla's new full self-driving feature before the left signal and brakes activated, moving into the left lane and slowing to a stop directly in the path of traffic. So it was in the far left lane. And for some reason, he stopped in the far left lane.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
And I have no idea how this stuff works, but it looks like the entrance of the tunnel. Like somehow did it get confused and maybe
I was gonna say because if it's in full mode and he wants to go to that lane, all he has to do is turn the signal to notify the vehicle. I want to go that way.
Okay.
So I think it may have confused the turning, the entering, and
that's what happened.
So is there like
Weird.
a signal or something that, like when he goes into the entrance there, it gets blocked or something?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Because it's being tracked by satellites.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not ready for this yet.
Absolutely not.
Okay? It's just not ready for it.
And I'm a big Tesla fan. And it's not
I am
ready.
too. I want Teslas to succeed. I want them to travel a long way on a charge. I want the charge to be fast. But I want all that to happen for them.
Yeah, and
it's not ready.
And if one of the big draws is it can drive you anywhere, there's not a chance I'm closing my eyes. I'm taking my...
No way.
So it's like, if you're baking that into the cost, I'll just get a normal car. Thank you.
Yep. Don't trust it yet. Just not ready.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.